It's processing. I would love to know where you're all coming in from. I know Nanya's in San Diego, Allison's in Florida, Vicki and the rest of you. It's processing. I would love to know where you're all coming in from. There we go. Mute me. Utah. Excellent. Anyone else? Okay. Well, as you're hopping in, I love for this to be engaging. So if you have questions, comments, you can unmute. You can put that in the chat. If you're watching the replay, you can put that down in the comments. But to honor your time, let's go ahead and get started. Let me share my screen. Okay, so what if I told you that a simple shift in your morning could transform your energy, your focus, and your long-term health? It sounds bold, but it's true. But it also doesn't happen quickly. So that's the thing that people have to understand. It's like saving for retirement. If you're consistent over time, you're going to be in a really good place. If you're not, you're not going to be in a really good place. So that's why we're talking about Wellness Made Simple. And I'm Stacy Paulson. I'm a mom of 6. I'm an entrepreneur, but I would have to say a serial learner. So I have an MBA. I'm a certified health coach. I'm a CrossFit coach. I love to learn for myself, because if I have a problem or a frustration, I found like we can research and find answers. And I know what it's like to feel tired, overwhelmed, and frustrated with my health. So for years, I struggled with migraines, chronic sinus infections, miscarriages, joint pain, and low energy. And I went to different doctors. I was prescribed different medications, and I felt like I wasn't getting anywhere. It was like playing whack-a-mole. Anybody experience that? Put a 1 in the chat if you've experienced that. And it can be super frustrating. Nothing was getting better until I found a simple natural solution that changed really everything. And in fact, I've stayed with these natural solutions and systems for over 15 years. And at 50 years old, I'm not on any medications. Neither are any of my kids or my husband. And not a lot of people can say that. And it's not that there's not a use or a time for that. But I have seen such miracles over and over again from people understanding a few simple things and putting a few simple things into their life and being consistent over time, and trusting and having faith in that process to see how your body is amazing and can work. So with that being said, let's be real. Most of us don't have lots of hours every day to focus on our wellness. But most of us have, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, right, to do that. So if I forgot to send this out in the thing, but here's a note if you want to take a screenshot of that QR code. This is a great little notes page. If you like to take notes, or if you want to use this with anybody that you talk to, it's helpful to be able to take notes on these things. So before we dive in, I want to just make sure everyone sees the chat. Sometimes we have people who didn't use Zoom during COVID, and so they need to just kind of figure out. If you're on your phone, just tap on it. Can everybody just put in a 5 just to make sure everyone's there? And welcome everybody that's been joining as we're moving on. Okay, we got 5, so everyone can hear me. Awesome. Okay, so many people think of doTERRA as just an essential oil company. And some people haven't even heard of doTERRA, but a lot of people have. And I think most of you who are on are either a part of doTERRA or are familiar with it. And my first experience with doTERRA was back. I'll stop sharing because Elise is on and she's driving. Hey, Elise. Don't wave at me. No, just kidding. So I was struggling with a lot of these things that I was talking about. And our families went and were flying kites in a hayfield. And I've always had allergies since my first girls' camp. I was just on medication. And I didn't have my medication in this hayfield. And I thought I was going to have to go home. And Elise came up to me with this little brown bottle of essential oils. And at the time, I'd never heard of them. I didn't know what it was, but I just put a couple drops on my finger and rubbed it across the bridge of my nose. And within minutes, my allergies like cleared up. And that was a light bulb moment for me because I always thought, okay, I have allergies. I have to take a pill for the rest of my life. That was just my thinking. That was just where I was at. And that's what I was thinking with my other health challenges. But then I started seeing it's not working, right? But that's where the light bulb went on that, oh, I wonder if there's other things out there that I'm just not aware of that could be helpful for me and that could work with my body instead of against my body. And so that became kind of the journey that I was on. And I'm so grateful to Elise for being willing to share with me, just that one little thing. It literally has changed my life. And it's helped. And doTERRA, it's not just, like I said, essential oils. It can help us to reduce toxins in our home. It's a company that can help us to support our immune health, our digestion, and energy naturally and help to take control of our health without a lot of the guesswork. So for first, we're going to share briefly just a little bit about essential oils, right? And then we're going to dive into this 2-minute morning routine. And for those who have been using it, or for those who have questions about it, those who are in the 14-day challenge, just really want to make sure that everyone is served because we have a lot of different groups in here. So maybe you're here because you already use essential oils or you're curious about them. And so I want you to share in the chat an essential oil that you've used that delivered a great result. Just go ahead and comment that in the chat. And if you're new, just put a 2 in the chat. And if I can find my chat again, here we go. So put an oil that's been helpful. You got a result from Serenity, On Guard. I'm guessing Serenity for rest or relaxation. On Guard is our immune boosting support clove. I'd love to hear a story about that, Sarah. Okay, keep putting those in as we go along. So just quickly on here, for those who are new or who are watching the replay, Shelly, Balance, I love that one, very grounding blend. So 3 quick things about essential oils, that they're natural and potent. So they're 50 to 70 times more powerful than herbs. And they act really fast. So they can absorb. So if I'm rubbing it on topically, they can absorb within 20 seconds. And they start working within a couple of minutes and can be into every cell of your body, impact every cell in your body within 20 minutes. So they're very powerful and fast, and they can support from a cellular level. So it's helping our cells do what they were meant to do. Instead of causing damage or side effects in that way, they can help support our cells to do what they were meant to do. So for instance, peppermint is a great essential oil. I'm sure most of you have used peppermint in some way. So 1 drop of peppermint would be like 28 cups of peppermint tea. So just putting a drop in your hand, rubbing that together, breathing it in, can open your airways. I use it before I go work out. It helps bring more oxygen to your cells, get a better workout. It's great for, if you're hot, if you're having hot flashes, if you're like feverish. There's just so many uses for that. On Guard is our immune support. This is great for helping with, environmental threats and stuff. So just kind of a quick thing with oils and thinking about how our bodies work. And as we move into talking about this 2-minute morning routine. So if we kind of go back to like biology, some very basics is that we have all these molecules, whether they're nutrients or other things that we consume and take into our bodies. And all of our cells are made up of different molecules. And those cells make up different tissue, body tissue, and that tissue makes up different organs. And then we have, multiple organs will make up an organ system, which makes up the organism, which makes up us. So that's why when we talk about getting to the root cause, getting back to like what molecules, what nutrients can support our cells to do what they were meant to do. And they know how to do because we're living, we're breathing. We've had, great success on different things. And then oftentimes we will have a stage in our life or something come up, whether it's chronic or acute, that impacts our cells in some way. And so that's where I love that we can get to the root cause, but also knowing that not all essential oils are the same, just like, Mrs. Butterworth has not even a lick, not even a drip of real maple syrup. You can kind of read through what's in it. And so there is a difference between doTERRA essential oils and most essential oils on the market. Most of them are diluted, synthetic, or contaminated oils that don't work. And even the organic brands can be low quality or ineffective. And I feel sad for people who experience something like that because oftentimes then they'll think, well, essential oils don't work. I tried this thing. And there was a girl that I kind of got to know in this wellness center. It was a pharmacy, but she was over in the wellness part. And she had a little baby that wouldn't sleep very well. And so she had some lavender essential oil in her wellness center. And she started using that. And she said it didn't do a whole lot unless I put about 20 to 30 drops of lavender in a diffuser. And then she felt like there was some kind of effect. And then she started using doterra. And that's when she was like, oh my word, like there's a difference because she'd only have to use a couple drops and her baby was sleeping, was calm. And so it's interesting, like when we have negative experiences with essential oils, sometimes it's because of the quality of those. Or you might come across somebody that's a little bit skeptical. Just know it might be because they've experienced, Mrs. Butterworth. So along with that, I love knowing where we source our oils from, just like Vermont. And we were just up in Vermont and like Canada, they're known for their maple trees, maple syrup, and there's different places around the world that grow different plants really well. And doTERRA sources these from 49 different countries. And not only do they get the purest, but the most effective oils. And they get them in communities that often need these kind of industries. So 49% are female-led farms, which I love because it helps women and mothers to be able to take care of their families. And 2/3 of those are in developing countries. And so I love knowing where they come from because oftentimes we get things off of Amazon and like I have no idea who made this thing or where it came from, or is it actually, what it says it is. So this is something that I think more of the world is moving towards, is actually knowing where everything's coming from. And doTERRA is kind of ahead of the game with that and helping us to understand that they work directly on the ground with all of these farmers, harvesters. They know exactly where the oils come from. So, and that's not just doTERRA saying this. This is a research study that was done by Roseman University. doTERRA oils were found to be therapeutically relevant in cell growth and rejuvenation, and that's what we want. Metabolic health. How many have challenges with metabolic health? And then healthy inflammatory responses. Like those are some very impactful things that they showed the doTERRA's oils were doing. And then in addition, the other essential oils, because they were grabbing they were ordering the top oils from different companies, and they said essential oils from different companies or different competitors had minimal effects. And so there is a difference. And once you experience that, it's kind of hard to go back. So quickly, for those who are brand new to essential oils, I didn't see anyone that mentioned that they were brand new, but sometimes we have on the replays or who do the live that they're new to oils. And there's just 3 simple ways that you can use them. You can breathe them right in. That's aromatically. So you might open your airways. You might have a stuffy nose, allergies. It impacts your mood and emotions. It will just go up and help with that quickly. It can help purify the air if you're diffusing them into the air. We can use them internally. So if you look on the bottle and there's a supplement fact label on there, you can see that on there, then you can use them internally. And most other oils, you can't. So why would you use them internally? Go ahead and post in the chat, like, what are some of the reasons why you've used it internally? And then the third way that we can use them is topically. So putting it on. And I use these every single day. Whether it's my knee, because I want to keep my knees healthy because I love to run. Whether it's like helping with my eyes, my eyesight. There's just so many different reasons. I kind of have my little regimen, but there's multiple ways we can use them and multiple things that we can use them for. So before we dive in, so On Guard for sore throat, lemon for kidneys. Awesome. So before we dive in, are there anything on here that you see? And if you're watching the replay, just put a number into the comments. You can put the number in the chat right now. If there's any of these that you're most interested in. Whether you're dealing with it, you have someone in your family member dealing with it, or it's something that you've dealt with in the past. Um, you can put a number associated with digestive issues, muscles, joints, stress, immune, sleep, energy, brain fog, asthma, allergies, headaches, metabolism, or something else. Uh, and I know our life shift, right? Could be with seasons, could be with stuff that's going around. Number 6, energy, brain fog. Yeah. I hear you on that one. 6, got another 6. Anyone else? Stress, anxiety, allergies, energy, brain fog. Yes. Okay. So these are generally some of the top ones that people, most people deal with something around there. But we're going to quickly just talk about what the real foundation of wellness is. It's easy to chase quick fixes like energy drinks, trendy diets, cold plunges, right? But despite all of that, many of us still feel exhausted. So true lasting health starts with a solid foundation. So if you kind of look at this stepping, I don't know, call it a pyramid, but I like it like stepping stones. Nutrition and digestion are the base of that. That's foundational, right? Getting the nutrients in our body and then being able to digest, meaning absorb those nutrients, because sometimes we get them in, but we don't absorb them, or we just don't get them in, right? And then also moving our body, because when we move our body, everything works better. Even our metabolism works better. The nutrients, the digestion, all of that comes together. And so for those of you who are doing the 14-day challenge, that's why we focus on these, because those are the biggest bang for your buck. And they can be free, or you're going to be eating anyway, so they can be free. But one of the hard things about getting what we need in our diet is that our food is becoming less and less nutritious just because of soil depletion, how things are farmed, how long it takes from the farm to getting onto our table. Uh, and and so with that, we have some challenges. And so there is a guy, and as soon as he gets this published, he was actually, because he's like a billionaire, and he's actually mapping out the nutrients currently in all of our food. And he's going to publish that just so that we can become aware. He's done some of them already, and that's where the oranges came from, like as far as how much vitamin C we have in an orange today versus 75 years ago. The 50s, I keep thinking we're in 2000, but we're not. um and and so it's just eye-opening that, like, even if we're eating how people were eating in the 1950s, we're not going to get the same amount of nutrients. So that means we'd have to eat more, but that means that our calorie intake is going to be going up. And we already have a problem with that, right? We're not needing more we're needing calories, we're needing more nutrient dense food. And so the second way that we can get, um, well, we'll get into the supplements in just a second, but this is something that when I saw it and read it, I'm like, that hits home right there. The heart attack at 50 began at 20. So for me, the health challenges that I was dealing at 35, they didn't just happen overnight, right? This was a buildup. This was a lack of nutrients. This was the lack of taking care of the foundations in my health, that over time, it started to manifest as these symptoms, these migraines, headaches, the chronic sinus infections, where I'm having a weakened immune system, right? That this was building over time. And this is the traditional health care model. This is just what it is. And that it's normal to be at a certain age and have these certain chronic conditions and be put on lifetime medicines. That is normal. But I want to tell you, it doesn't have to be normal. And it shouldn't be normal. Our bodies are made to be able to do these things for a very long time if we know what they are. So besides getting it in our food, we can get things in supplements. Another hard thing with supplements is just knowing what's actually in it. So this was from Harvard. They did a study, 776 supplements included contaminants in the supplements. And this was back in I don't have the year now. 2007, 2016. So it's been a few years. And imagine how many people are getting supplements and consumables like through Amazon, or they just don't know what's actually in the bottle. So it's kind of scary, like thinking about that. And it can be misleading. Like there have been products that don't even have the um, the active ingredient, like why you're taking it in the bottle. Just heard a lot of crazy stories there. And so that's why even taking supplements can be hard. And that's another reason why I love doTERRA with the quality testing and all that they do, knowing where they're sourced from, and then having the testing that's done to validate what's in it and what is not in it, what should not be in there, right? It's really important as we're consuming this, because if we go back and look at that pyramid, or that reducing toxicity. Well, if you're taking something that is causing toxicity, it's causing damage to your cells. And so you might be trying to help with one thing, but you're causing a problem on another hand, right? And it can be all those symptoms. Our bodies are screaming at us like, I need something, or I need to eliminate something, right? So that's the first big problem, is just getting enough food. And the second big problem is sedentary versus active. Like, I'm probably preaching to the choir about this. We just we have a lifestyles that everything just comes pretty easy. Food gets delivered to us. We don't even have to go walk around the store anymore, right? We have jobs that you might be sitting at a desk, not moving as much. Um, I don't feel good, so I'm just scrolling through social or binge watching Netflix, right? Like, all of us are guilty of it, but we have this challenge with moving our body. And so our bodies pay for that. When we don't move, everything slows down, our energy, our metabolism, digestion, and even our mood. Have you ever noticed that just going outside and taking a walk can instantly uplift your spirit? And that's because movement isn't just about burning calories. It's about keeping your body and your mind strong. And this is not about going to the gym and working out for an hour and doing these crazy things. It's more about some very simple things consistently over time. So the more that we can see, like, here's where I'm at, what's just a little bit outside of my comfort zone as far as movement, that's where you want to be, because you're going to get the biggest gains, and it's going to be more sustainable if you're doing something a little uncomfortable until it becomes comfortable. And then you're going to do something that pushes you again, right? And it doesn't matter where you're at, right? You could be overweight, you could have health challenges, you could have like knee problems, mobility problems, you could have different challenges, or you could be like the elite of the elite athlete. It's the same process. It's just going a little outside of your comfort zone so that doing it enough times, it becomes comfortable. And then we do that again. And then that's how we experience growth. I mean, all things, right? But if we often, what I see is people going out and they have these big dreams, big goals. This is my new thing. And they do too much and it's not sustainable. So they quit. Anybody experience that? Put a 2 in the chat if that has been you, because that's been me. I'll totally admit it. Right. And so that's why we really want to talk about things that are sustainable, things that we can continue, that will help us throughout our lives, right? That we can stick with. So that's one of the, I feel like, kind of miraculous thing that doTERRA has given us. Such a beautiful thing when we get foundational nutrients into our body, right? And making it easy. Like, just really understanding that it can be hard. It can be hard with time. It can be hard with not knowing what to eat. It can be hard, just maybe you don't know how to cook, or whatever it is, right? So I love that doTERRA has created a very simple solution for this. And what makes it different? First, these products, which if you're in the 14-day challenge, we've talked a little bit about these, that they're pure, there's no synthetics. And second, they're proven. Everything is third-party tested for real results. And third, it's simple. So this replaces dozens of expensive low-quality supplements. So we have our VMG, which is our vitamins, minerals, and greens. And my son today, like, he keeps calling it VMZ. I'm like, oh, it's not hard. It's VMG, vitamins, minerals, greens. And he was asking his wife, like, because she is almost addicted to VMG, and they're both young in their early 20s. And he asked her, and I was just on the phone with him today, and asked her, like, so why do you take this? Like, why do you want to take this? And she just said, I just feel like I have more energy. It just feels good. Like, I just feel good. Like, she doesn't even really know what's in it, but she just feels good. So you have the vitamins, minerals, and greens that help to fill those gaps in your diet. And then your E-omegas, which are omega-3s, which are great for your brain, heart, and inflammation. And then your PB Restore, is a probiotic, but it's more than that. So we'll quickly talk about that. But I want you to think of this as like a car, right? Essential oils are like the key that starts the engine. So we have these pathways that get opened for this fuel to come in, and then we need to fuel that engine. We need to put those vitamins, the greens, the minerals, the omegas, the probiotics. We need to put all that fuel into our car so that it can run, right? So that's just keeping that in mind. For those of you who have used this, can you just give me your take on any of that? Like, what does it taste like if we're talking about the VMG? Um, because honestly, people look at the green, and if you've experienced green drinks, sometimes you think it doesn't taste so good, or that they put a lot of fruit in it to with a little bit of spinach, which turns it green or something, or a little bit of kale, right? That's not what this is. So this is your daily dose of vitamins, minerals, greens. It is amazing. I just got mine today and it tastes good. Yes, it actually tastes good. Um, that's what most people have said. I haven't had anybody like, oh my gosh, I can't gag it down. Even my kids, all my kids love the taste. Yes, exactly. And so there's 90 powerful ingredients to give your body those vital nutrients that it needs. And what's really cool is that it absorbs 4 to 6 times better than other supplements. So you get more out of every single dose. It's like filling your car with gas that used to take you like 100 miles, right? But now that same tank of gas will take you 400 miles. And I love that. So you're getting 4 times more vitamin C for stronger immunity, over 5 times more vitamin E, which is great for your skin, your heart, and your brain. 6.3 times more iron for more energy and oxygen. And that's just three of the ingredients, three of the 90, right? So I love this, that they get absorbed quickly. Most supplements will stay in your bloodstream an hour, and then they'll get flushed, right? So if we don't use them, we lose them. So you might have a supplement that's like super high percentage wise, right? But it's not in a form that will get absorbed. This is really cool because in the studies that have been done, that those nutrients have stayed over 8 hours. And so that means your body has those building blocks to pull on when they're needed, right? Sarah, you have your hand raised. You want to unmute? You're able to.
I have the new VMZ, the powder one, but I'm still taking the pill form. Is that okay? Or
Yeah, absolutely. So if you have been using like the Lifelong Vitality or the VMZ, which is the vitamins, minerals, and Z for super cool, I don't know,
oh,
super cool. What you
oh,
might do is alternate so that you're not using the other ones because they are really good. This is just like the next generation because now we have new technology, new studies that have come out. So if you're able to, I say everyone switch over to
to
the
the
VMG. But if you have Lifelong Vitality with the VMZ, which is the pill form, that's what I've been recommending. Is just like every other day, you could just swap.
itch.
Both
Okay.
of them.
Thank you.
Mhm. Okay. So that's just one piece of the three things, right? And so it's delicious, clean, vegan, liposomal delivery. That's another really neat thing. Why we get more. It's almost like an IV drip, a vitamin IV drip, because the essential oils that are in there help to deliver those into the cells better than anything out there. It's just really cool technology with essential oils. So like pulling on the best things of nature and then some bright, sciencey, mindy, geeky people like figuring this out. Uh, so then the second part of this is getting your omegas. Now it's really hard to get omega-3s with our traditional standard diet, right? So omega-3s are anti-inflammatory. Omega-6s are inflammatory. And it usually should be a pretty good balance, like 1 to 1, whatever. But we're really out of balance, where most people it's like 1 to 20. So we have more inflammatory oils coming in from seed oils, from processed and ultra processed food, from fast food, right? So we are seeing a chronic state of inflammation. So as we consume more omega-3s, it helps to reduce that inflammation, creates more balance, so that it's not wreaking havoc on our brain, our heart, and our joints. It can help with the brain fog, the forgetfulness, stiff, achy joints, feeling anxious, moody, or stressed, dull skin, thinning hair, brittle nails. And so this omega supplement, it has 900 milligrams of the highest quality omega-3s, and it doesn't taste fishy. It has wild orange in there, which helps to drive those omegas in so they're more absorbed, but it also helps to preserve them so they're not rancid. And you're just going to get a better experience from them. And you can even chew them. I think some of you on here have chewed your little fishy capsule. They don't taste like fish, which is pretty amazing. And another really cool thing is if you kind of read on here, it lowers resting heart rate by 4 beats. This was in the study that was done, 4 beats. Doesn't seem like a lot, but that's 6,000 fewer heartbeats per day, 2 million fewer heartbeats per year, and over 164 million fewer heartbeats in your lifetime. Think of how important our hearts are. Cardiovascular disease is the #1 killer. Every year, was it like over 800,000? I can't remember, but it's like more than cancer, but it's preventable. Like these things are preventable. There's very few people who have like a malfunctioned heart, cardiovascular system, right? These are lifestyle choices and things that we can do to overcome some of these challenges, to prevent some of these challenges, to reduce that wear and tear in our heart. 100% of the participants in the study in 6 weeks every single one of them had a significant improvement in their omega-3 levels. It just really speaks to the absorption of them. And then the last part of this kind of trio is the PB Restore. And did you know that 70 to 80% of your immune system is in your gut? And 90% of serotonin, that's your feel-good hormone, is made there too. That means your gut isn't just about digestion. It affects your mood, energy, metabolism, and immunity. So PB Restore is like planting a thriving garden in your gut, giving your body everything that it needs to flourish. But a garden needs more than just seeds. It needs fertile soil, nutrients, and the right balance to grow. And so that's what's in this. So we have a prebiotic, which is like the fertilizer that it helps to prepare your gut, creating the perfect environment for good bacteria. And then we have this probiotic, which is protected, so that's not absorbed into the stomach. It's preserved to get down into the intestine where we want it. And it's like the seeds. It's like these live bacterial cultures that we need in there. And then we have postbiotics. Those are like the harvest. They deliver immediate benefits like better digestion and reduced inflammation in your gut. And then we have these things called phages. And these are like little gardeners. These natural helpers remove harmful bacteria, making room for the good ones to thrive. So this is a really, really cool, I don't have my bottle with me, but it's really great for more energy, sharper focus, stronger immune system, fewer sick days, balanced metabolism. So you're gonna have less bloating and fewer cravings. Also, healthy gut means a happy mind. A balanced gut supports emotional well-being and clearer skin. So gut inflammation often shows up in your face. So it's interesting to see some of the results that people get as they take this. So loads more energy, emotional stability. Kelly said cardiovascular age is 7 years less than my actual age. And then I love just kind of speaking to the inflammation, how these help to work from the inside out, right? Oftentimes we might apply things topically, right? But just by taking this 90 days, is that how long it was? Elise, I know this was your niece. So I think it's just really cool. The power that we have from getting what our bodies need. Now, this 2-minute morning routine is super simple. Somebody called it rip, sip, drip, if you want to remember it. So you just rip your package open, put it in a little bit of water, and you actually get a shaker bottle with it. Although I haven't been using my shaker bottle so much, I can just mix it with a spoon, but you get a free shaker bottle with it. So rip, sip. So you're just taking your omegas and your probiotics with it. And then you get a free bottle of peppermint. So a 5 milliliter bottle of peppermint with your first package of this foundational wellness bundle. And put a couple of drops in your hand, and you'll just breathe that in the morning. And literally, it's less than 2 minutes, but you can check all the boxes. I got my vitamins, my minerals, my greens, my omegas, like all this stuff. I'm awake. I'm ready to go. Let's start this day. And I know it can be hard if we're just trying to track those things. I know there's some people who are doing some different challenges, and they're they're tracking like what they're eating and trying to get like the nutrient content. And it's hard. It's hard to stick with that and think for a lifetime of sticking with that, because if you don't stick with that, then it's playing guesswork. Like, did I get what I needed today? Right. And it's so important, like consistency of getting those nutrients, not just like, oh, we eat one day on Sunday, a whole load of stuff, and then we starve ourselves the next week. That's not how this works. It's consistency over time. So I love this simple routine. You can see this is everything that you get with that. And then what I think a lot of you are doing the 14-day challenge with us. And this is a simple way to implement some of the most important things: fueling your body, fueling your mind, and strengthening your body, building community, like some foundational things that help us to live a happy, healthy lifestyle in a sustainable way, right? Without having to do something super crazy. And so this is generally a part of people's food budget. And that's what I tell people. I'm like, this is my food budget, because I could either try to go get a bunch of different supplements and piecemeal that all together and play the guesswork, or I can go and, I buy food, but this is part of my food budget, because I would have to consume a lot more food than I'm eating to get all the nutrients that my body needs. And now that I'm 50 and I'm seeing, like, if you don't have your health, man, life, like in all areas of life, it's so much harder. So it's $150. You would have to like piecemeal a bunch of different things together to get those things. It includes the challenge. If you want to do that, we do it every month, this 14-day challenge. And they do have a 30-day money back guarantee, because they're just so confident that you're going to either see the differences or they're willing to give you your money back, right? So this really is a no-brainer. Okay, any questions about the foundational wellness bundle? I'll just be sharing a little bit of the perks, as well as how you can get basically your medicine cabinet filled with essential oils just by using this bundle. Any questions or comments? I'm checking the chat. I literally crave it when I wake up in the morning. Yes, me too. And my 11-year-old, she's always asking, like, can I have VMG? Can I have VMG? Like, that's awesome. Yes. Can I have candy or soda pop? No, but you can have your VMG. So what I also love about this with doTERRA is that they have doTERRA rewards. Let me find my share screen again. So basically each month you can receive a free essential oil, and we'll speed go through those. And if anybody has any questions about them, and also we'll give you a free resource that goes through the essential oils, what they do, how to use them, whatnot. For those who don't have a doTERRA account, who have not a wholesale customer or wellness advocate, you can get a free account. You need to go to the person who invited you to this workshop. They can give you their referral link, because when they give that to you, then you get 25% off for a year. You get a free membership. You can use this promo code. If you put that in, there's some freebies that will get added to that. So you can take a screenshot if you want. If you have friends that you want to share it with, you can do that. But you could get a lavender for free. You could potentially get a citrus bliss for free, a free diffuser, or choose the toothpaste. It was 150 PB. I was like, choose the toothpaste, because it is life-changing. Okay. So speed dating with oils. So each month you will get one. It just comes with your wellness bundle with those things, right? We'll just come with it. So this month you would be getting lavender, and it's a 5 milliliter of lavender. Lavender is great for soothing your mind, your skin. If you get a sunburn, if we've used it for earaches, ear infections, for sleep. There's just so many different things. You're welcome. Put in the chat or unmute if there's something that you love about lavender. Really calming. This is just something to have on hand. Again, you're getting it for free. Copaiba will be the one you're getting next month. This is, oh, I love this oil, because one of the challenges that happened to me as I was nutrient deficient, right? Like I just had the standard American diet. And then as I was starting to learn, like, oh, wait, I need to get different nutrients. I need to eat different. And it was hard. And then doTERRA came and I started taking their lifelong vitality supplements. It's kind of like the first generation supplements. And that was life changing. Like within just months, my migraines went away. The chronic sinus infections went away. I was using oils help like symptomatically, but there was something foundationally that when I gave my body what it needed, it started to work better, right? But one of the things that I had developed is small fiber neuropathy. And what I found is copaiba is phenomenal at helping to support from a cellular level nerves. So I take a couple drops. It's sitting on my counter in my bathroom, and it's just part of my routine. So it takes me like 2 seconds, and I just put a couple of drops under my tongue, and it's been life changing for me. But it's also calming. It's great for anxious feelings. It can help soothe skin blemishes, reduce redness. It helps boost focus and clarity and concentration. And why it's unique, it works kind of like CBD, but stronger with no THC or psychoactive effects. It also has like a mild scent. It's not like super strong or overpowering, but that is the one that you will get free next month. And then I'm just going to scan through the rest of these. So just know coming up, frankincense will be coming in June. So great for inflammation, brain support, emotion, skin, cellular health. And if anybody has any like powerhouse, like you want to share something about any of these, you're welcome to. You can either unmute or put it in the chat because I know a lot of you have experience with different things. In July, you're going to get the deep blue. Now, this is my go-to for anything athletic. So part of that movement is helping to support, like if you're not moving your body because something hurts, this might be really helpful. You can put it on professional athletes, college athletes, like all my kids use this. They have that in their gym bags. It's just a really helpful essential oil to have. And then coming up August will be tea tree. You can see cleansing, antiviral, antifungal. On Guard is the immune support one. You'll be getting that in September as we're ramping up for all those germs, right? So that'll be coming in your bundle. Serenity, somebody mentioned this one, great for calming the mind, for sleep, for relaxation. That will be coming in October. Breathe is the respiratory blend in November, so things might be coming up respiratory stuff. And then Adaptive is our anxious feelings blend. I love this. It smells so amazing. And I didn't know that I felt anxious until I started using this. And then it was like, oh, this is what normal feels like. Because with 6 kids, a business, just stuff going on, I think you kind of can get used to living at a certain level of like stress or anxiety. And so that really helped. Ooh, oh, this is much calmer. So December, Christmas time. And then you're going to get Digest Zen, which is the digestive blend in January. And MetaPower is our metabolic blend, which is great for blood sugar, reducing sugar cravings, helping to reset your metabolism. That's in February. And then Lemon next March. So very detoxifying, cleansing. So that's kind of a speed dating. Anything to add, anyone, on essential oils or any questions? So when I order again next month, how do I get it without the shaker bottle, get the free oil? So on your first order, you will get, the first time you order the bundle, doesn't matter if you're like a current customer or a new one, you'll get this freebie with your supplements. And then the next month when you order, you won't get another shaker bottle, and you'll get the free essential oil. So you will get whatever that is for that month. Hopefully that makes sense. It just automatically will get added to your order. Okay. So that's what that looks like. So this is just an easy way to start getting healthy, setting up healthy routines, and then doTERRA is going to fund your medicine cabinet with essential oils. So they just take care of it. So I love that. If you scan this, take a picture of this QR code. If you aren't brand new, like if you're brand new and you're ordering for the first time, doTERRA will send you this, like a physical copy of this help guide. And it goes through and lists like all the different top essential oils and supplements, and it just helps you to know how to use them. It's just a great resource. If you want a digital copy, then scan that QR code, fill out that quick survey, and then we'll email you a copy of that if that's something that's helpful for you. Okay. Any questions before I'm going to take 7 minutes to see how simple earning extra income can be. So I hope you all stay with me, but I won't be offended if you hop off. But 7 minutes could literally change your life. I remember back, I had been using essential oils for about a year, seeing all of these like lifestyle shifts and just it was just like a really impactful year. And I remember sitting down at a computer, don't know why, somehow on YouTube, and I watched this overview about doterra and how you could create income. And initially I was not open to this, but we had moved from Utah to California where things were like way more expensive. My kids weren't able to do some of the same things that they were doing in Utah. And one of the things that I really wanted was for them to be able to take piano lessons, but we couldn't afford it. But I was capable, right? Like I had 4 kids. I just barely had my fifth. And I'm like, okay, I'm a capable person. I have a business degree, but I don't want to go out and get a job. I want something that's flexible, that I can create income, and something that I'm passionate about that's going to make a difference. And then all of a sudden I'm watching this YouTube video that like, it just gave it all to me. So I just want to give this to you in 7 minutes, right? So we're going to share how you can create an extra income stream with doterra, whether it's $500 a month to help cover bills or $2,000 a month to get ahead financially. So if that sparks curiosity, please stay, right? And I'm not here to convince you that this is for you or for not for you. I'm just going to present the information and then you get to decide, right? So here's the thing. Life is getting more expensive. Like inflation is rising, grocery costs are more, the unexpected bills always seem to pop up. And did you know that 70% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck? And over 70% of people today are looking for an extra income, like multiple income streams. But what if there was a simple, flexible way to ease those financial pressures without sacrificing more of your time? Because I also know that we're all super busy, right? Most jobs today are like hauling buckets. You work, you get paid, but stop working or get laid off from your job and the income stops. Most of us work jobs where we trade dollars for hours. Sometimes we love our job, and sometimes we would rather be doing something else. So type 1 in the chat if you have a job that you love, but it just doesn't give you the time or financial freedom that you want. And put a 2 in there if you don't like your job or you're not creating enough income, right? The goal is to stop trading dollars for hours and eventually build a pipeline that pays you over and over again. So here's the example. And when I heard this, a light bulb went on. It just really clicked for me. So there was a woman who hauled buckets of water for a living. Every day, she hauled water from the nearest water source to her village. And if she needed more money, she'd simply work longer hours and haul more buckets. How many have experienced that? After many years, she grew tired of hauling buckets. Then inspiration came. If she used her spare time to build a pipeline, she could eventually create a new kind of financial opportunity and be free from hauling those buckets. Or she could keep hauling the buckets if she loved to haul the buckets, right? It just created freedom for her. So she labored diligently for a few years to build her pipeline. That day, she turned on the spigot. Everything changed. She successfully created an unlimited supply of water, which improved the lives of people in her community and secured her own financial future. Her entire life changed. Essentially, when you're hauling buckets, you're exchanging dollars for hours. And this is what most jobs are, including direct sales companies, including being a doctor, right? This ensures you continue to haul buckets. But imagine if instead of hauling buckets every day, you could build a pipeline. It takes effort up front, but once it's flowing, it keeps delivering water and income whether you're working or not. And that's what doterra offers, a way to build residual income that keeps flowing long after the work is done. So why is it a great time to step into this? Well, here's some important things to know. 93% of Americans are metabolically unhealthy. Over 50% of children are overweight or obese. 70% of people don't qualify for military service because of their health. And these numbers are staggering and should really be a wake-up call for all of us. And the truth is our society is getting sicker, not healthier. But here's the good news. doterra has some very simple solutions, right? So Why doTERRA as a side business? Because you're not just selling oils, you're offering proven natural solutions that people need right now. Our customers love the products. We have a 75% retention rate compared to the industry average of 13 to 18%. This means people are repurchasing those products. Why? Because they're finding value, they're finding real solutions. Plus, doTERRA offers one of the highest compensation payouts in the industry, which is 48% of revenue goes back to wellness advocates. So we're partnering with a company that's ethical, impactful, and changing lives. And like, there's just so many stories like this. This was Marty. They lived in Africa during like COVID, and they had a shop there, like a physical location, and it was shut down. Like their income completely just shut down overnight, right? And somehow someone got in contact with them about doTERRA, and they fell in love. And this had become their source of income uh, for them to be able to survive. And so there's lots of different reasons why people might step into this place of creating a business or even just sharing with other people. Uh, it does create freedom, right? More choices. So with our Wellness Made Simple and with the 14-day challenge that people can opt into, can participate in, this can really be a simple and easy way to do it. We call it the 2x4 plan. And so basically, month one, you start your health journey and you help 4 other people to get started with their health journey using the foundational wellness bundle and start their 14-day challenge. Like people don't have to do it, but I'm all about creating sustainable habits that not just taking some supplements and using some products, right? But also changing other things in our life that will make an impact. You help people do that, and wow, they will love you forever. Month 2, you help 4 more people get started and guide 3 of those 4 people from month 1 to invite 4 people to join them. And then month 3, you just repeat that, right? So your first month, you're going to earn over $100. That second month, over $500. And that third month, as you're following this along, can create $2,000. Now, what would you do with an extra $500 or an extra $2,000? Like there's all of our lives are different, but maybe it's paying some bills. Maybe it's just relieving some financial pressures. Maybe it's going on that vacation that you've been putting off forever, right? Um, there's just lots of different things that we could use that for. It could be helpful, for serving more, for helping more people. Um, but you have to figure out what matters most to you, right? And now I know many people might be thinking, I'm not a salesperson. I don't know enough about essential oils or, foundational wellness. I'm too busy. I don't have time for this. Is this even real? Can I actually make money? And I totally get it because I had all of those same doubts when I first started using doTERRA. I was blown away by how much it helped my migraines and chronic sinus infections and all of that. But I was not open to doing the business. I thought, I don't know enough. Like, I'm not a salesperson. My first telemarketing job, I lasted a month because like it made me nauseous to drive to that center. And, I also thought like, I have kids and I'm busy. Like, how can I add more to this? But then I watched and learned and found out that this is probably one of the most flexible ways that I could create income and make a huge impact. Within 6 months, I was earning over $2,000 a month. My kids were in piano and enjoying that, even though they've all quit now that they're adults. They did have the experience. And it can go from there on up, 6 figures, 7 figures, whatever your goals are, it really can help with. So here's what's next. Start your wellness journey. Grab the foundational wellness bundle to experience like firsthand the transformation that can happen. Play all in the 14-day challenge. If you're doing that, don't just set it aside. It really will change your life. And then next week, we're doing a Learn More event. It's Income Made Simple. We're going to dive a little bit more into the compensation plan, like how this actually works. How would you get started if this aligns with what your goals are? So just know those are kind of the next steps. And then also, if you're new or if you are a wholesale customer, like pay attention to this. Text 0 to the person who invited you to this if you were like absolutely not interested in any of it, right? Text 0. That's fine. Nobody's offended. It just brings clarity. Number One, text that if you want to do the 14-day challenge. So if you're not in the 14-day challenge, but you'd like to participate, it's totally free. You don't have to buy anything to participate. Text 1 to the person who invited you. Text A2 to the person if you want to do the challenge and you want the bundle and just want some help with that. And then 3, if you want to do it all, right? If you're all in, all in, all in. And for those who are watching the replay, you can put those down in the comments, reach out to the person. We can get you to the right person, right? Okay, so any questions or anything to add before we sign off? Stop sharing. Am I still sharing?
I have a question, please.
Yes.
The PB Restore, the normal medicine vitamin that you take, what's the difference between that and the PB, the sticks?
Yes, that's a really good question. So the PB Restore, the capsule, is whole body. So there are probiotics that, because we have microorganisms all over our bodies, in our sinuses, on our skin, everywhere. So that is whole, thinking whole system. The powder form is very targeted to your digestive system, your gut, right? So there's just different probiotics in there, formulated a little bit different, both phenomenal. But one is just very targeted. So if you have just, most people that I know take the capsule, but that's kind of the difference. But there's some that, like kids, sometimes we just give them the stick, give them the powder. It tastes so yummy. Does that help?
Yeah, it does. Thank you very much.
Yep. Any other questions, comments? I'm just going to read through some of these. Let's see. Copaiba is amazing for my feelings of anxiousness, as well as my wrist that gets sore when I do a lot of hard embroidery. Yes, you get a postcard with tips. Yeah, with the oil, so you'll know how to use it. Are you sharing the slides? Yes, I can share these slides with you, and you're welcome. Okay, is there anything else before we go? If not, I hope you will take this, use it, apply it, share it. You'll make a huge impact as you get results and you're sharing it with other people. Like, we really can change the health of the United States, North America, developing. Like, it's you're going to make a huge impact as you start sharing with other people, because this is really what we need. We need foundational wellness. And if people can't afford it, we want to help them to be able to afford it. And there's a solution for everyone there. All right, guys, have a good evening.